You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
It's Monday evening, and you're listening to Joe and Gemma on the Supernaturelle Show.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of the Supernaturelle Show. You've got myself, Gemma, tonight. Unfortunately, Jolene cannot be with us. Joe, I know, right? And that is my guest in the background, just in case you didn't hear it. Yet, unfortunately, Joe is not here tonight, but worry not, because I've got an interesting guest with me tonight, peeps. This is one that will keep you entertained, it's safe to say. So tonight I have the wonderful, absolutely amazing, the one and only, hanging you in suspense. It's Mr. Nick Stoppani. Good evening, Nick.
Hold on.
Oh, hang on. He'll be back in a minute. He's just gone to let the cat out or something.
Hello.
Hello.
Hold on, mate. I'll just get him for you. Give me 2 seconds.
Can't take this seriously already.
How you doing, guys? Welcome to the show.
Nick, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
What you been up to?
I've had the most beautiful day with my daughter. We've been to, like adults, they do pub crawls. We've done park crawls today, and we've had a fantastic time. It's been beautiful. Loved it. I'm knackered.
It's hard work running around, Nick, isn't it?
It is exhausting.
I mean, did you go on the swings?
I went on the swing, I went on the slide, I went on the roundabout. And do you know what? They don't make the old roundabouts like they used to, like when we were kids. It's all high-tech now. Gemma, it is high-tech stuff.
How can you get a high-tech roundabout?
Well, this particular one that we went on earlier today, this afternoon, it was sort of like built into the ground. So you literally stepped over a crack. I'm not talking belly buttons or anything like that. Is what I'm saying, right? And you're on it and you're spinning. So it's basically like the floor is spinning. Fantastic, wonderful.
So is it safer? Is that what we're going with?
I'm guessing so. Yeah, I'm guessing so. I mean, I do recall when I was about, I know I was in primary school, so I was in a park in Northampton, and my dad had just, did the weekly shop, and we stopped off at a park that we normally did do back then, and this little Jack Russell grabbed hold of my foot and was hanging off as I was spinning round.
I'm sure I'm not supposed to laugh at that, but you can just imagine it, can't you? Yeah, this poor dog just swinging round and round. Oh, Nick, what are you like?
Well, I'm just giving you facts, Gemma.
Facts. That's all I can ask for, love. That's all I ever want, facts.
Yeah. How are you guys? Anyway, how is the Supernaturelle show doing?
Yeah, not bad. Do you know what? Loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm so lucky.
Can I just say something? I'm glad you've literally just read my message that I sent when Chloe was on your show. Quite disappointed that you didn't mention it, but, we move on. Yeah, I'm just pointing out.
I am so sorry. Okay, I am so sorry. I really didn't know it was there. We see once we go live into the studio, that's it. I don't see anything other than the studio and what's occurring right in front of me.
Yeah. No,
I am so sorry, though. That is bad, isn't it?
Sorry. I just wanted to wish Chloe all the very best.
No, do you know what? She did an amazing job, did Chloe?
Yeah, she's a cracker.
She's an absolute little star. So, Nick, out and about with Nick Stoppani.
Yes. It's a fairly new venture for me. That is. We've already shot 2 episodes of it, and Mr. Producer has informed me that I am going to be doing some burlesque dancing. I wonder who's that going to be with.
I can't for the life of me work that one out, Nick. I really can't. I do believe that there was stipulations on that, though.
Was there? Well, I've not heard about that. Do tell.
Oh well, your producers. I've got it in writing. It is confirmed. So your producers have done this on your behalf.
Right.
So for anybody that is listening that doesn't know, oh God, I am actually a burlesque dancer.
Yeah.
And you're coming to burlesque dance with me, aren't you, Nick?
Apparently so. Yeah. It's
but
what
the stipulations.
Just can you talk me through what the actual what will I be doing?
Will
I be dressed up?
Well, yes, love. You will have stockings on, fishnet stockings.
That's nothing new.
Maybe some frilly knickers.
Okay, I have to speak to my mum about that.
And I'm not necessarily sure I can say this live on air, but maybe titty tassels too.
Oh my gosh. I'm up for it, Gemma.
Are you up for it, Nick?
It's about getting involved. But you know, all serious now. Out and About with Nick Stoppani is, I mean, I love people. You know, I don't care where you're from, you know, what colour skin you are, what religion you are. None of that matters. I enjoy people, and I'm getting out and about, and I'm meeting a variety of people from all different walks of life, and I really can't believe it. I know we've met before, Gemma, on a handful of occasions.
We have indeed.
I tell you that this little thing that we've got with Out and About Nick Stoppani is going to be a cracker. I can't wait.
So where did Out and About with Nick Stoppani come from?
My producer. He said, Nick, why don't we do this? Well, I said, okay, let's give it a go. I'm always open to discussions and, you know, collaborating on different things. And literally, I mean, over the years, I've done radio, I've done TV, and it is the people that invest in your career.
Yeah.
You know, they can make you and break you. It's simple as that.
Yeah, completely. Absolutely. So your producer come along and said, you like people.
Yeah, he said, why don't you do Out and About with Nick Stoppani? It was simple as that. And I said, okay, how's it work? So he explained the format, and the rest is history, so to speak. So we did a bit of a pilot piece, and we reviewed that. We're happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I also went to see she just so happens to be a good friend of mine. She lives in Leicester. She's involved in the paranormal, but it wasn't to do with the paranormal. And I was conscious to not do everything based on the paranormal, because there's more to me than you know, the paranormal.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a fascinating subject that I'm so proud to be part of, but I am light entertainment. That's where I sit.
But you even sit in the paranormal.
Say that again.
You sit with that even in the paranormal. Your humour still comes across massively, even on a paranormal investigation.
Well, yeah, people do say that. People do say it, but I am mindful that a lot of people do take it very, very seriously, and I do take it very seriously. I understand that, but I wouldn't be me if I was just going on a paranormal investigation and doing it dead serious to the book.
Oh, God, yeah. But you need that. You need that energy in a paranormal investigation anyway. You can't just be serious all the time, because what are you going to achieve out of it? You need to have some sort of humour, some sort of a release, if you like, because it can get quite intense.
Oh, it does. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you did an Out and About with Nick Stoppani with Mickey as well, didn't you? Because I do remember seeing that one Out and About.
Yeah. You see we literally put that out. A couple of weeks after we actually shot it, but not the full. Obviously, not the full piece. Just a little bit of a teaser thing. But just the lady who I went to see in Leicester, and obviously Mickey is with UK Haunted. That particular episode was a paranormal episode. But the one that I shot in Leicester was a lady who she suffered with arthritis, and she read online that wrapping cabbages around your feet helps with the aches and pains. So I rocked up there with a cabbage and I did a pee. Yeah, it was a cracker.
Is there only me that's got visions of you just turning up with a couple of cabbages in each? I'm like, yeah, love, let's wrap your feet.
Well, I don't know. It depends who's listening.
Oh, God, Nick, honestly, I can so imagine you doing that. So has she got any evidence that it does work then?
Well, for the time, this was back in February that we shot that particular episode, and she'd only tried it for a few days. So I don't think you can put your hand on your heart and say, do you know what, this actually works. So what I've said to her is, try a red cabbage, try a white cabbage, try different techniques, try cooking the cabbage. No, don't laugh. This is serious. This is serious. When people have pains and, it affects their life. And having a cabbage in the garden or down the local supermarket, for example, is not a problem.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if it works, isn't it?
No, absolutely. It's a fascinating thing. It really is.
So what else is coming up on Out and About with Nick?
I've got, do you know what? I put it out on social media and I put out, are there any geriatric punk rockers out there? Basically, I want to talk to anyone. If you've got a story, you've got something nice to say, something interesting, always happy to rock up. But yeah, I've got a list of people that I need to get through, and obviously including yourself, Gemma.
Oh yeah.
But with life events and other contractual commitments that I've got to adhere to, it's not on hold, but it is in a way. We've literally just got to fix dates to go and shoot, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, you see, I totally get that. In all fairness, you are quite a busy man, aren't you? Like you say, if you've not got your daughter, and if you're not with UK Haunted,
that's right.
If you're not doing Out and About with Nick Stoppani, you still got other commitments too that you need to attend to.
Oh, absolutely. My daughter, she's changed my entire life, as children do. But like today, Gemma, I took her to the first park that we went to, and I stood back watching her play, and I had tears rolling down my eyes because I just thought, how far we've come through the courts and things like that. Now me and her, my daughter's mum, get on so great. It's wonderful, absolutely fantastic. But I tell you what, seeing my daughter so happy, it was overwhelming.
See, that's all that matters, though, isn't it? That the kids are happy.
Absolutely, of course it is. It's number one. Nothing else matters.
So, Nick, what are your other commitments? What else have you got lined up? Because I'm pretty sure that you will have something up your sleeve. I've seen a few live tests, shall we say, of recent times.
Yes, yeah. This, basically, the Nick Stoppani live thing is a bit of fun at the moment. But it's something I want to hopefully get out there on a regular basis. Literally just like what we're doing now, Gemma, having a chat, having a chinwag. And I did a little test and, various tests really. And I'm loving it. But sometimes technical side of things, it just doesn't go to plan. But it's live. You just got to get on with it. I'm just tweaking it, really.
Yeah, you see, exactly. It's all you can do, really, innit? You have to tweak these things. Nothing's ever perfect where technology is concerned.
Absolutely not.
So, UK Haunted.
Yeah.
You've done a couple, 3 you've done now of the Facebook Lives?
Well, I've personally worked on 2. I know, the guys have done 3. in total. I've worked on 2. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So how did that
Gemma?
come about?
Well, Alex, and I still, and I say this to Alex, you know, every time I meet him, I say that, Alex, thank you so much for even thinking of me to host the show, the UK Haunted Live show, because it means the world to me, Gemma. No matter what the project is, if somebody goes out the way to ask you to do something, I think it's such a compliment.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, I can't imagine anybody else doing that. There is only you that I could imagine, shall we say, slotting in with the UK Haunted guys.
Right. Well, that's nice. That's nice to know. Bless you.
Well, I don't think I'll be the only person to say that. I think there'll be plenty of others.
I have to say this. I'm gonna be totally transparent and honest now. When when Alex asked me to commit to it, and you know, it was wonderful. I'll never forget the moment, actually, because it was being broadcast online. I thought straight away I would get slated at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I still can't believe the amount of support and encouragement, especially for the first one that I did with UK Haunted.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, and it still takes my breath away now.
See, I'm not surprised by that, because although the paranormal field has its ups and downs, and as much trolling as there is that goes on, because let's face it, it happens a lot. Everybody at some point will have been on the receiving end of that trolling. But for all that, there is so many wonderful people that will support and encourage and push you forward. And it's those people that we all do it for. Even now, even sitting on this radio show now, not literally sitting on the radio show, you understand, but you know, this is why we do it. We do it because we want to encourage others to come into the paranormal field. We want to encourage others to share the knowledge, to work together.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a common saying, but it is a small world. It really, really is a small world, especially in the paranormal. Everybody knows each other, or everybody's heard of each other.
Yeah, completely.
And I do think it is a crying shame that there's so much crap, right? That people just can't support each other. That really, really gets to me.
But you see it all the time, you know. Like when I did Good Morning Britain, I received a message on Twitter, basically telling me that I was too fat and ugly to be on TV.
Oh my goodness.
Well, my comeback to that straight away was, I may well be fat and I may well be ugly, but I have, please excuse my language, a shit ton of knowledge.
Yeah.
And experience. So thank you very much for coming with your comments, but they're completely irrelevant.
But you know, why the hell, you know, does somebody's looks or weight even come into the equation?
Well, you see, this is what trolls do. Trolls will find an area that they can manipulate, focus on, and hopefully you've got a weakness and that's going to make you crumble. Well, with me, they so chose the wrong person, because it's going to take more than that with me.
Yeah, too right, absolutely.
But it happens, and it's cruel and it's horrible, and especially when you don't realise the impact that nasty comments can have on people.
Vile, yeah, they're vile.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, Gemma, I sometimes, you know, you just randomly go on YouTube, or there's a heartwarming post on Facebook or Twitter. I don't really see a lot of it on Twitter, I have to say. It's mostly YouTube and Facebook. But even, say, for example, a friend of mine posts a lovely video of her daughter singing, for example. Yeah. Some comments that these cretins post
Oh, I like that word, cretins.
No relevance to the content whatsoever. I mean, you have to ask yourself, what is going through these people's minds and their heads? Why
would you?
Why even begin to post something such, just so negative? I really don't get it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I used to do, Gemma? I mean, I don't get it a lot nowadays, but I used to get a lot of hate on Twitter. People used to hate me. I mean, I don't know these people, obviously, but I set up a hate line, Nick's hate line, and do you know what? Not one single person rang it, because I was going to ring them and then meet them up, meet them face to face to say, look, why? Well, I just need to know why you're being such a negative person, because
negative Nancy's everywhere, isn't there?
Oh, it's terrible.
Do you think that mental health, do you think a lot of it could have to do with mental health and people's insecurities? And
look, when it comes to mental health, right, there's different varieties, obviously. Mm-hmm. I've suffered with mental health, but where I was in my mental health, that there were people far worse off than I was. To say it's mental health and that can make somebody act so negative and nasty and horrible towards another human being, I don't that doesn't sit with me, Gemma, because you know what's right and wrong. It's simple as that.
Well, I do.
Wrong. Well, yeah, this is it.
And I mean, let's be realistic. Mental health can come in so many different shapes and sizes and forms. But I personally would not do that to another human because it's cruel.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, you know what I'm like on Twitter and Facebook. I'm all positive. In fact, I do remember one lady on Facebook. I believe she was in the United States. I was posting something to do connected to the law of attraction and that sort of thing, and The Secret. And she turned around to me and publicly said, "You effing this, you effing that. I've just lost my son. Don't talk bollocks," and blah blah blah. And I said, "I'm so sorry to hear your sad news, but please, this was not connected at anyone personally." So obviously, clearly, there was a woman going through a traumatic time. She just lost her son, for goodness sake. But then I still thought to myself, surely, what's going on in your own head to think that I'm posting that solely about yourself?
Yeah, I'm more to the point, you wouldn't do that anyway.
No. Well, those that know me, and do you know what? I do get a lot of support and encouragement, and it is mind-blowing, Gemma. It's mind-blowing. It really is. It's wonderful.
But everybody needs that. Everybody needs that support and security blanket. Shall we call it a security blanket?
You call it what you want, Gemma.
Yeah, we'll call it a security blanket. Everybody needs a security blanket from time to time.
Yeah.
Everybody has good and bad days.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I think I spoke to you last time, or one of the times where I came on your show, mentioned about mindfulness, how that changed my life. It saved me in a way, because I was suicidal at one point. And,
I remember you saying about that.
Yeah, mindfulness. I practice. I mean, I have the odd day where I don't, and bloody hell, as long as I get back on track and I just calm down, I close my eyes, and tell you what, meditation is wonderful. Even if you do it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I tell you what the key is repetition. Repetition. If you do it constantly, you'll see the changes. I don't care what you say.
I meditate every single day. every single day I take at least 5 minutes to myself.
It's not long, is it? I mean,
Oh,
people say, I
no.
don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Oh, but make time.
Yeah, no, you don't need masses of hours. You literally just 5 minutes a day, just to close off. And I'm really good at that now, in all honesty, because a lot of people, when they first start meditating, find it so hard to completely switch off the brain and think of nothing.
Yeah.
But I've got that down to a fine art now. I can just flick that switch and turn off.
Yeah, yeah.
And
How long did it take you to get to that stage, though, Jen?
Oh, if I'm honest, a while. It did take a good 6 months. But that's because I'm not ashamed to admit I am a bit of an overthinker, and I will tend to dwell on things as well.
Do you know what? That you've hit the nail on the head there. It's the overthinking that really, really destroys us.
It is. It really is.
Even if we don't know the outcome, the true answer, it destroys us.
Of course it does. Because the part of your brain that the overthinking, I can't speak tonight, the overthinking affects, it's that fight or flight mode, isn't it? And then you get that, the little man, as I call him, that pops up in your head. And he's the one that will then feed all those negative thoughts.
Right. You've just said it, right? I had a, what you call an attack, an episode. I had I can't pronounce it now. Amygdala hijack is what the term is.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of it. Never heard of it in my life. And I paid a private psychiatrist, and he explained absolutely everything that was going on in my life.
Yeah.
At that particular point. And I tell you what, it's
If I'm right, I'm thinking that is basically the to layman's terms, it is like a massive panic attack.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I mean, for me, I had an actual visual image in my mind, and it was crystal clear, and it was so traumatic to me, Gemma. I'm not even going to go into detail now.
Yeah, don't.
That's in the past. But to have peace of mind from a professional was just so good. So, because I thought it was cracking up, Gemma.
Yeah. I mean, it does make you feel like that. Again, I'm not ashamed to admit that I suffer with anxiety and panic attacks. People would not believe it because all they see is me as a person, and they assume that that I am just the happy-go-lucky person that I portray myself to be. Yeah. But I suffer quite badly with panic and anxiety attacks, and it can be horrific. It can be debilitating sometimes.
It can. It's bloody life-changing.
It's not nice, but again, you have to take the good with the bad, don't you?
Of course you do, yeah. It's like me though, Gemma. I'm a bit of a, publicly, I suppose I'm a show-off, aren't I, really?
A larger-than-life character.
Yeah, I have a laugh, right? But there's times where, I remember I lost my dad in 2012. I was going through such a negative time with people that I thought I could trust. And I just, it was awful. And I was presenting 4 hours a day on live television on these crash shopping channels, putting on such a happy, go-lucky smile and blah, blah, blah. But inside, I was crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
And how did I do it? How the heck did I do it?
I think it's more a case of you have to.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah, you have to paint on a smile. You have to. It's like us ladies putting on our makeup every day. 9 times out of 10, we actually don't want to. We can't actually be bothered. But do you know what? We have to do it because you have to keep up appearances, right? Yeah,
but you see, I remember, right, my first ever girlfriend, I never forget this, right? We went to the tip to take some rubbish with my dad years ago, and she said, "Oh, hold on, I ain't straightened my hair."
Yeah.
And And I said, "What? We're going to the bloody tip, woman. What are you doing?"
Yeah, you don't need your hair done and your makeup for the tip. You love. You just need your rubber gloves and your welly boots.
That's right. Like, do you know what I mean? I think, like, I don't mind going around in jogging bottoms, t-shirt. I've done it today, for example. But there comes a point, obviously, when you're in the park, I'm doing something respectful, I suppose, that you do have to make an effort. And yeah, I understand that.
Of course you do. I mean, we're all selling ourselves, if you will, in the paranormal field. That's how it works, right? Because people aren't going to book and come on your ghost hunts, and they're not going to listen to your radio shows, and they're not going to tune into your Facebook lives and stuff if you're not a product that they're interested in, right?
No, that's right. Absolutely.
That's pretty much how it works. So as much as
the package, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah, we are all doing a public service, so people don't want to admit that we're not always these happy people that we appear to be. But do you know what? That's life. And if you can swing that straight back round into the paranormal as well, because sometimes the spirits on locations won't behave how you want them to behave either.
No, of course not. No, you just don't know, do you? When you want. Do you know what? I've actually just reminded me. Actually, I have been approached by somebody in South Northamptonshire. Now, her daughter's going on one of these trips where they help people that are less fortunate than themselves, and they need to raise a certain amount of money to cover the cost and that sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So somebody that I know suggested that this lady does a paranormal investigation to raise funds.
Yeah.
So I've had a chat with her, and I then decided to take it by myself and phone around a few venues here in Northamptonshire. And I spoke to a landlady. Well, I believe she was a landlady or a manager of a particular pub. And it turns out that her daughter is going on the same trip. So
wow.
Collectively, we're going to join forces and raise money so these two girls can go out and do something wonderful to help people less fortunate than ourselves.
Is there any more details on that, Nick, or is it a bit too early yet?
It's a little bit too early. Literally, I got the text, I think Thursday or Friday, or late last week. They're going out to Cambodia in, I believe, July. So it's going to take place in June in Northampton.
Okay, well,
keep you posted.
Well, it goes without saying, anything I could do to help, you know where I am.
Bless you.
That obviously goes without saying, but that is such a fabulous thing to do.
No, it's going to be good. But at first, I've got so much going on, Gemma. I thought, flipping heck, am I getting in? Am I doing too much? But then I thought to myself, no, do you know what? Let's do it for the girls.
I think for a cause like that, I don't think you can say no.
Yeah, no. I was in two minds, because is it a charity? Because they're raising money for them to actually go out and cover the flights and etc. But what they're doing, and for example, my nephew did it years ago in Borneo. Is it Borneo?
Yeah.
Borneo. Is it Borneo or Borneo?
Borneo, I think. Anybody in the chat room, just tell us which way round it is, please.
Anybody in the chat room?
Well, actually, yes. We've got a very active chat room tonight. We've got Paul Rook, so the boss is in the house. Good evening,
Hi,
Paul.
Paul. Welcome to the show.
We've got Richard Clements. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
We've got the lovely Gary Fields.
Hi, Gary. Welcome.
We have got the beautiful Chloe Stevenson.
Hello, Chloe. Welcome to the show. You're going to help me on this event that I've just talked about.
Chloe, that is your next mission. Get prepared. We also have Dave Harasny, and Dave, going back to the conversation about mental health, Dave said that he knows the feeling, Nick. It's very hard. You're smiling on the outside, but inside you're crumbling. been there with depression the last couple of weeks. So, Dave, we are all here, love. Anytime you want to have a chin wag, feel free.
Absolutely.
Richard Clements has said all people that have talent also have a demon to contend within their lives, which again is a fair play. I don't think I could argue that in any single way, shape or form. And Chloe, bless her little heart, has just simply put, we love our Nick.
Oh, bless her little cotton socks. That's Chloe Stevenson. I love her to bits.
How nice is that? But it's true, though, Nick. I mean, I said it last time you was on, and I say it to you every time I speak to you. You do bring joy into people's hearts.
It's hard for me to take that on board, but so many people say that, Gemma.
That's
but I just am me. That's me, innit? Do you know what I mean? I am what I am.
In fact, I even put on Twitter today, everybody needs a bit of Nick Stoppani love. Everybody needs a bit of Nick Stoppani love. If we could bottle it and sell it, we'd all be loaded, right? We would be absolutely loaded. It'd be amazing. I'm selling Nick Stoppani in a bottle.
Oh, hello.
Come on down, ladies and gents. But no, it is true. But going back to people's mental health and depression and stuff, how do you think that impacts on the paranormal?
I mean, for example, I'm chatting to one guy at the moment. He is suffering from a mental health condition, but it was the paranormal that really spurred him on and made him have a happy life. But in terms of, I mean, what do you actually mean by that question, Gemma?
And well, how do you think it affects? Do you think it's a negative impact? Do you think it can be a positive impact? Do you think that it changes the way people view potential of paranormal activity?
Well, I think it can. Of course it can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it can change the people's perceptions. Yeah, but it all depends on the level of mental health in an individual. If I can get my words out.
I have that same problem all the time, Nick.
Yeah.
I have about 50 words shooting around in my head, and I can only get one out at a time. It's hard. It's hard, love. It really is hard.
It is hard, actually.
But no, I totally get what you're saying. But like you say, depending on the illness, the area for me that I find could massively impact the paranormal field is medication, because some medications and even some illnesses come with side effects, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
And if those side effects are hallucinations, for example.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you're on a ghost hunt, then you're going to be seeing or hearing things that aren't actually happening. So that for me is the only time where you would have an issue, because is that going to impact on the event?
Well, that'd be a major impact. Of course it would.
And then you've got to think of health and safety. Is it right for that person at that time to be out investigating? Because right. I know I've had to take a step back from time to time and say I can't physically or mentally go to that event because I'm not in the right place.
Yeah, and do you know what though? Fair play to you for even suggesting that, because if people did that, then what a different community it would be within the paranormal. I do believe that.
How do you think we could change the paranormal field, though? How do you think we could get everybody working together? I know there's so much going on. I mean, there's the Sage Paracon. There's fear. What is it called? The fear of the unknown con, or something along those lines. I know there's another one that's being set up nearer to where I live at the minute, because I've seen that on the socials. Yeah. But how do you think we could change the paranormal and get people working together more as one?
Less egos, more support for each other, and just more encouragement. I mean, I've had. I mean, when I started with doing the lives with UK Haunted Live, I used to, and I still do actually. I'm not going to say I used to, because I still do. I still like other people's posts. I still support, other people. Absolutely nothing from these individuals. They're still on my friends list. I think they're just snooping.
Yeah, you see, I'm like you, Nick. I will support anybody. As you know, because I always book and come on UK Haunted events. The event that Chloe did, I booked and came on that. Dave Harasny in the chat room, Entering the Unknown. I book and I even go as a guest on his events. Yeah. But speaking of Dave Harasny, apparently I've got to twist your arm and get you to say that you're going to come to his charity event live on air.
Is this at Warwick Castle?
It is on the 12th of July.
Yeah, I know. I've got a wedding. Oh. But just to prove it, hold on a minute. I know you can see. Right. So, when's the date?
12th of July.
12th. Right. This is on the 13th. Can you see that?
Oh, I can indeed see that. Yeah.
This is the 13th of July, and it's a wedding, and I can't miss that.
Dave, I tried for you. I did try.
Dave, keep me posted in the future. Absolutely, mate. Not a problem.
So how do you think we could get rid of people's egos then, Nick? Because that, for me, is the hardest one, because how do you change people?
It's a tough one. I mean, I suppose... I don't know. Gosh, I mean, it's like with myself, okay? I've worked with some awesome people. And I'm not just talking paranormal, I'm talking across entertainment.
Uh-huh.
But I don't go shouting about it. I don't go, I've worked with this person, I've worked with that person. Sometimes I do, because I'm proud of it. But I don't know. It's a really tough one, that is, Gemma.
I know, right? I know it's hard, but I guess in a way we have to have these conversations, because the only way anything will ever change in the paranormal field is if we make it change, right?
How about asking spirit that particular question constantly? I mean, you've heard of the skull experiment, haven't you?
I love the skull experiment.
I mean, that for me was, one of the most compelling, fascinating pieces of television that I've seen in my entire life.
Have you read the book?
I've not read the book, no. I'm big on visuals.
Okay.
But I think Robin was on, I'm sure it was Robin. He was either Facebook or LinkedIn. Who was heavily involved in the skull experiment. But my point being, Gemma, is doing something along that that side of things constantly, a couple of times a week, meet up and repeat the questions and just.
But that's how your evidence is collected anyway, isn't it? In order to say that yes, there's some unknown phenomena, because let's face it, that's what the paranormal is. It's unknown phenomena that's occurring. Yeah. In order to be able to say this is definitely happening, you need to repeat the process time and time again. You can't just do it once and say, I've come up with my conclusion. This place is haunted. It doesn't work like that.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, if things are really, really kicking off, and I don't want to use the term kicking off, but I just have. But a lot of people relate to that, don't they? They relate to that. It's
all kicking off, yeah. Well, yeah, you see, I'm with you. I don't like the term kicking off, because it's not kicking off. It's either active or it's not.
There's also another term that I don't particularly like, and I tolerate it, and that is hunt.
Hunt. We're not hunting, right?
Well, this is it. I mean,
where's my pitchfork?
Yeah, that's for later.
What am I having for my dinner? I need to catch something for my dinner. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I respect other people. I do respect it.
Yeah, I mean, for years it's been known as a ghost hunt, right?
Oh, it has. Of course it has, yeah.
Years and years and years and years. And I think that's like just like a water off duck's back now, in all fairness. I just take it now. It's like, okay, it's a ghost hunt. Fair play.
Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is, but I tell you what it is what it is.
I did wonder where you was going with that one.
I tell you what it is. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You what? Yeah, okay, in a bit. All right. See you later. Sorry, Gemma.
Oh, who was that? Was that the producer?
No, it's the old bloke next door. He just comes up to get some milk.
Oh, did he just want some milk? Did he, bless him?
Yeah, got a goat. He help himself to it, really. What was he going to say? Flipping heck. No, this was it. It really is key to the people that you have on, whether it's a public event or a team, the chemistry and how you all get on and work together is key.
Oh, massively.
Quick.
Massively. I mean, do you believe that people can block activity?
Yeah, I do. Because, you know, for example, say me and you have an argument and then we go up and...
Do we have to do this now? By
Yeah.
any chance? Oh.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
All
start this argument then.
So
Nick, you're wrong.
Right, okay. Yeah. I've just wanted to tickle your belly button. You've said no. Gone. You... then we meet each other at an event, right?
You're not licking my eyeball, Nick.
Yeah. You give me evils. Yeah. You're continuing the argument on. I'm prepared to forget about it and, you know, move on. But you're holding a grudge.
Oh,
right?
my God, Nick, I can't believe you've just said that.
That in itself, Gemma, will block. It will block it. No, you know I'm talking. Dave, Chloe, you know I'm talking to. Come on.
Yeah, but what everybody listening at home doesn't realise is the conversation that we had minutes before coming live, which was about the Daily Mail article about the man that had a sexual encounter with somebody's belly button.
Absolutely. Good luck to him.
You know, people at home don't know that now, Nick. Well, they do now, but they didn't. They just thought I was laughing and being really rude because you're dropping a belly button joke. Trying to drop me in it, honestly. Oh, God, Nick.
Good times, Gemma. Good times.
Oh, you've got to stop with the belly button. Even Chloe's in the chat room going, ew.
Yeah, she would do.
Exactly, Chloe. And this is what we were saying.
You've sat on my sofa and you got your belly button out. Let's be honest about it.
But did you lick it?
I'll say nothing.
Oh, Nick, I so needed some Nick love today. It's got to be said.
Oh, good times, isn't it? It's good times.
Got to be said. Right, so back onto the paranormal. Come on, Gemma, focus. You can do this. So where was we going with the whole belly button? Blocking activity. Yeah. That's where we were going.
So yourself and me, we have an argument. We go out to a public investigation or with a group of friends, and you give me the old cold shoulder. I do believe that will affect, or possibly will affect the outcome of the investigation. I really do.
Well, surely with all that atmosphere in the air, it's not going to do any favours. But what about in regards to, you know, the people that, because we get loads on investigations, right? Those people that are just there because the missus said that you have to come and hold my handbag.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Always get those, right? The poor people that are dragged along when they really don't want to be there. So that sort of negativity, how do you feel that impacts?
Well, again, I think, I mean, I say it to everyone that, I mean, I get asked, you know, can I comment on this photo? Can I comment on this video? But I say to them, look, I wasn't there, you know, so really anything I say, you know, I might say, yeah, it looks like a spirit, looks like a ghost, not a spirit, it looks like a ghost, looks like blah, 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 blah. But those people that just tag along, unless they experience something paranormal firsthand,
yep,
that's the moment that it clicks. It's like with me. I'd never forget the first time that I experienced something. It got me hooked, Gemma.
What was that, Nick?
Well, I was working at a theatre in Northampton, pantomime, and I was part of the show crew. I was a follow spot operator, and I was right up in the gods of the Royal Theatre in Northampton. And during a show, I believe it was a matinee. And in fact, it'd be really interesting to contact the theatre to see if I can get hold of the show report of that particular show. Anyway, I had a cue stand with all my cues on, and all of a sudden my cue stand shot across the auditorium, and I was 18 years old, I'd say, back then.
So you was really young then?
Yeah. I ran out of the... Luckily, that there was another... I mean, with Panto, we have two follow spot operators. Yeah. So there's me over one side of the auditorium, and I think it was... Her name doesn't matter. Victoria.
We'll just call her Victoria.
Yeah, I still remember her name. No, it wasn't. It was Rachel.
See, now we really are just making up names, right?
It was Rachel, yeah. And she was over the other side. Clearly, she saw what had happened. I don't know if she saw the actual stand move, but she saw me run out of the auditorium, and I went down to the green room. No, I didn't. I went down to the foyer first, and then in pieces, they took me through to the green room. And it wasn't until later that the stage manager actually sat me down and said, "Nick, don't worry, don't feel stupid, don't feel..." Because I felt a fool. I went out of a bloody show. You know, people had paid money to see this. Schools all over the county and even further afield had come, and you know, it was a packed house. And there's me running off. But I never forget her name. The stage manager, Judy Cheeseman, her name was. There's no joke. Judy Cheeseman, lovely, lovely, lovely lady. And she said, "Nick, you know, people do experience paranormal goings on in this building." You know, so she didn't dismiss it, which to me was refreshing, and it was a comfort, because I know what I saw, I know what I felt, and to have her, in a way, agree with me was wonderful.
I'll go back to when you were a kid and you have, we'll call them a night terror, and you say there's a monster under my bed, or a monster in the cupboard, or somebody stood in my bedroom, you know, because this happens so much with kids. As a parent, you automatically say, "No, don't worry, darling, it's fine. There's nothing there. I've checked it. There's nothing there. It's all in your head." You know, you brush it off, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, and then, so I suppose at the age of 18, when you're seeing something moving and you can't explain why it's moving, I suppose, I can totally see why that would, with want of a better word, freak you out.
Yeah, no, well, it did. It did massively freak me out. But something you've just reminded me, though, Gemma. I mean, I always turn around and say that was my first proper encounter with the paranormal that lit the spark, so to speak. But it was when you just said as a child, I remember I was at primary school, and my two older brothers had mates around, and in my parents' living room, the dining room, they had a massive round table in it, and they were doing a Ouija board, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. And I remember seeing what I could only describe it, and this is no joke, it looked like a glow worm type thing, but in the shape of like Casper, the friendly ghost, right, inside the glass of this Ouija board that they were doing. It was a homemade bloody Ouija board, do you know what I mean? But looking back on it, that to me was my first encounter.
Well, I don't believe that, you know, people have their first experience when they start going out on these investigations and with teams, etc. Usually something will happen early on that will be in the subconscious, and then at some point or another that will come forward, and then that's where
Yeah.
What can only be described as an addiction, the addiction for the paranormal, because it is an addiction.
It's massive, yeah.
Definitely been an addiction for me. It started when I was really young, then with working in care work, because I was the end of life person, so I've experienced a lot of death.
Oh, you did palliative care?
Yeah.
Bless
yeah.
you. Wow.
And when you see things that are happening around the time that somebody's passing away,
yeah,
that ignites that spark for you.
Of course it does, yeah.
And then you want to learn more. And this is where I'm stuck now. I'm stuck at the stage of why, how, and what can we do to bring it forward?
Do you know what, though, Gemma? Again, sorry, things you say just flood me with memories.
That just means I'm talking some sort of sense, so I'll take that, Nick.
No, but what I'm about to tell you, I hope you can, you can understand this. My father died in 2012 in our home, in the family home.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he passed away, the dogs were on the bed and they went absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. They went absolutely berserk. Never seen anything like that in my life.
It don't surprise me. And
I tell you what, it was such a... I'm looking at a photo of my dad now, bless him, and I just want to say, I love you, Dad. And it's... Today, I mentioned earlier, I was at the park and I was nearly in tears. Yeah, I was looking at my daughter so happy, but I was also thinking about my dad and how such a, my daughter that we'll never see in the flesh, her granddad. And it's a tough one. But
again, that's something else that you see. Everything I think impacts on the paranormal, because your emotional well-being as well can have a massive impact on the paranormal field.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, I think, have you ever lost either a relative and a close friend, and you've willed them to bloody make contact with you?
Oh God, yeah.
And nothing. But having said that, who knows if they've tried or not?
You see, this is it. I mean, just because you're not getting something on a Ouija board or the lights aren't flashing on a piece of equipment, don't mean to say that these people aren't there. I mean, when you look at like airports, how many people say, and this is a classic one, how many people say a feather just appeared?
Yeah, well, that's that. Do you know what? That happened to Alex from UK Haunted several times. And I know Alex lost his own father. Now, I just think it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing when these things happen. Whether it is that or not, I don't know. But if we believe it, then what is wrong with that?
Oh, exactly. And who are any of us to say, well, actually, no, it's not that, it's this?
Exactly.
I never personally would, because if somebody wants to believe something is a message, then do you know what? Take it, run with it, because if that makes you feel better, then I would take it.
Of course you would. Yeah.
You take a paracetamol when you've got a headache, so why not take something that just gives you a bit of comfort and a bit of warmth?
Too right.
Well, Nick, guess what?
What?
Our hour has come to an end.
Oh, alas.
Oh, you cheeky bugger, you.
Thank you, Gemma. It's been
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I could talk to you for hours, Nick.
Well, we should do one for charity. A 72-hour broadcast.
A 72-hour broadcast?
I'm up for it if you are. I'm putting it out
there. Hey, I'm up for it, love. I'm game for anything. You know this.
Let's do it then.
Set it up, love. Set it up. Tell me when and where.
Set it up. Okay, I'll make inquiry.
Yeah, you do it. I'm not too sure on the 72 hours because I'll have to book holiday from work. But we could do a 48-hour over a weekend.
Okay, all right then.
I'm on for that. Have we got a deal?
We've got a deal.
I think people would probably pay me to shut up, though. In all fairness.
Well, we'll do it. What we could do is. Yeah, we'll sort it out. Let's look at the logistics of it, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, you're on.
Can I just say though, massive thanks to Kerry, who's been working tirelessly in the background. Chin right to you, my little chicken nugget.
That little Kerry in the background. She's a star, isn't she?
And where's I know you did mention, where's Jolene?
I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. That's so bad, isn't it? I think she's had a busy few days, and I think she's just wanted to take her shoes off and put her feet up.
No, I don't blame her. I do not blame her.
Yeah. You know what it's like when you have a busy few days.
Absolutely. I'm going to put my feet up shortly.
Well, I don't blame you, Nick. I might even do the same. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, Nick. It has been an absolute honour, as always, to chat to you.
My pleasure, and I wish you continued success with all you do, Gemma. I really do.
Thank you, darling.
Thanks, guys. Love you all.
And to everybody listening at home, if you miss any of the shows on Parasearch Radio, head on over to Spreaker or the YouTube app, where you can catch every single episode or every single show, even, from Parasearch Radio that has ever been broadcasted. And from myself, it's a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.